Hey y'all, today's episode is going to be really quick and kind of to the point because I need to run and take care of something. But I'm going to go over a list of some of the materials that I use. Um, so for all my shield, or yeah, the majority of my shields, and the courtesy foam that I use for my specific LARP. I use EVA or gym matting foam, and when I do the courtesy foam to cover the core, I'll measure out the width that I want for the blade, and pretty much set my core. I'll try and center it so I can outline where the core is going to be, take my Dremel and Dremel in a channel, and pretty much from there use DAP contact cement. This is what DAP looks like. This is the can that I use. Usually I go with the bigger can, but I couldn't find any at my Lowe's that I usually go to, but I plan on hunting some down today. But with not only the courtesy foam, but I also use EVA for my Placidep shields. From time to time, whenever I do have a shield with a cloth cover, I'll use this kind of foam for the boss, which is pretty much where the handle is. And then there's the EVA foam directly in front of your hand, and then a final layer of either blue foam or another type of foam. You'll have to excuse me. Woke up not too long ago. But yeah, that's EVA. You can find this at you can find it at Walmart. You can find it at Costco and Lowe's. You can also order it online at foambymail.com. I recently got some, but the thickness of it I was not expecting. It turned out to be a bit too thick for what I had planned on using it for. Okay, so another type of foam that I use is blue camp pad. I usually use this for the strike surface of all my builds, and that's about it. You can find this at Walmart. Oh boy. The reason I say that is because it's now at $10 a roll. When I started buying this stuff, it was about $6-7, and it has gone up quite a bit. And so I try not to waste it, so I try and use as much as I can, and from there, whatever scraps I do have, I'll turn them into like a small project. For instance, the holder for my phone is actually made out of scrap blue camp foam. Another type of foam that I use that I can't seem to find in my workshop is open cell foam. It's like a real squishy foam that's used for furniture and whatnot. Pardon. I usually use that for my arrowheads and my spearheads. Excuse me. Coffee good. Anyway, but another foam that I use, that's somewhere within this pile of madness and commission. I use blue yoga mat for stab tips. I used to use the real thick stadium seating, like the kind of stuff that like the portable seat cushion that you would use for like going to sporting events and whatnot. But I would use that kind of foam for my stab tips. But I haven't recently found any. Those. Lastly, yeah, it's a big chunk, but I use this for all my shield builds. Or let me rephrase that. This is the type of foam that I use for my shields. It's called polyethylene. The same with the blue camp pad, but this is a 1/2 inch thickness. This is 2. This you have to order online by the same company, foambymail.com. All their stuff is very reasonable priced. But yeah, I usually use the 2-inch for all my shields. I just like coreless, meaning I'm not building foam up on a either on like plexiglass or, I mean, I don't think you'd want to use plexiglass for a shield build, in my personal opinion. But the reason I use this stuff, it's so light. So whenever you're wielding your shield, there's not a whole lot of weight to it. I mean, if you go with plastic, yeah, it'll be a little heavy, only because of the extra bit of foam. But so besides the type of foams that I use, recently I just got a belt sander, so it helps me even out all the uneven spots on builds. Recently, or currently, I'm working on a glaive for a customer, and that's something else I should probably discuss is cores. Most of the time I use solid fiberglass rods that I can get at Walmart for like $2-3 a piece. You can get stuff online, Goodwins.com. For years, that's where I would usually go. But when I talked to a fellow crafter not far from me and told me about those, I immediately went to my Walmart, like, not the very next day, but later on that week. I went in there, got some cores, and that's what I use for most of my cores now. For the spear and the glaive, I had to, I didn't order it, I bought it off one of my fellow crafters in our group. Excuse me. But because one, they're big builds. This is my second attempt with a big build. My first one was a shield that was probably about 4.5 feet or 4.5 feet tall. Mind you, the shield was for a genuinely large fella. But but with the band shop poles, they're fiberglass, if I'm not mistaken, and they stand at about, I can't remember how much or how long. He said they were, I think he said like 7 foot 6 inches. I could be wrong, but they do sell them like they sell the band shop poles by 8 feet. Besides that, I've already told you that I use DAP for every single one of my builds. Belt sander. When I cut foam, I use this. It is a, it says so right there. But what I did is with my Dremel, I put a sharpening bit and pretty much just went along on both sides and pretty much created a blade on the thing. Yeah, you can see it. I'm in the process of saving up for a what's the word I'm looking for? Bandsaw. That's the one. I can't remember if that's everything, but whenever the blade gets a bit dull, I have this, and I pretty much just run along to resharpen the blade. I also use that's, I guess, utility knives? No. Box knives. I use these for like heavy duty stuff, because I can extend the blade out, as to where with this I use this one for my what's the word I'm looking for? My courtesy foam fries. I'm sorry. Like I said, I woke up not too long ago. But I also I try and make sure that all my stuff is well measured, so I can remind myself, hey, this particular item has a specific blade length and whatnot. And we also, within our group, we have a weapons grading tool. I got this from Gork the blacksmith. He's pretty, let me rephrase that. He's very well famous in our gaming. He sells some pretty good weapons. Before I started crafting, I bought 3 things from him, and my curiosity got the best of me, so I kind of took the cloth covers off and figured out how he did things, and from there I kind of improved my builds. I mean, I started crafting before I even discovered Gork, but yeah, that's the extent of what I use. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. And according to the forecast for my area, I will be having practice, so you might see a practice video this Sunday. So, alright, that's me, or that's the basis of what I use for all my builds. And that's about it. So you all have a good day, and I will see you next time.